keeping the customers happy. So it is more, let's keep it more of an interactive session rather than only focusing on what we basically do, because I'd love to hear the thoughts from you guys also. I know we have been doing something which has kind of taken us as well as the retailers and 3PLs and postal companies to a different level altogether. But yes, let's keep it extremely interactive. If you see the slide that this I've been able to, it's a very confidential information, but I've been able to pull this slide out and pull the data out from the FARI BI Insight system, wherein we see a lot of retailers, pharmacies, and 3PL, including 3PLs and courier companies, have gone to a very different level during these last 6 to 7 months. If you see during the month of November 19, they had this Black Friday, White Wednesday, wherein the sales automatically pick up. And again, it goes dull. This was during that's when the COVID kind of season started, COVID. So if you see December, Jan, Feb, we had the normal volumes of 2,000 per day, 3,000 per day. But suddenly from March, wherein it was the festival season, on top of that, added to COVID, people started staying back at homes. They didn't want to go out. So they basically started doing a lot of online ordering. So everything had become online. So if you talk about, in general, GCC in terms of e-commerce was lagging behind compared to the global world. Whereas today we are speaking about they setting the same standard and the volumes. Just for example, the retailers that FARI works with, or generally even the retailers that you guys are working with, we have seen a huge peak happening during the month of March to May, wherein orders that were doing 2,000 or 3,000 per day has touched 7 to 10,000 per day. And even pharmacies, if you see the pharmaceutical deliveries, wherein we have some big names as our customers across Saudi, Dubai, and across Europe, the big, they were doing 6,000 per day, whereas today they're talking about 20 to 25,000 orders per day. So it's really peaked to a different level after the complete store was shut, the brick and mortar was shut, and everything got online. So even after post store openings that happened during June and July, things have not dropped in terms of e-commerce. People are still maintaining their social distancing. People are still being extremely careful of stepping out, going to the malls, though things have opened up. Especially in Dubai, things have opened up, but generally across the globe, it's still kind of the same because the COVID situation is bad. So this is what I want to entail through the slide. Any inputs or anything that you want to discuss on this before I go to the next? Just to keep it more.
Yeah, this is very interesting. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
So what do we make out of this slide is what I was trying to figure out.
So what we can
see
pre-COVID,
it has plateaued.
Yeah, if you see the pre-COVID era, whereas the post-COVID, so I mean, what we can, there are two things which come out. I mean, even after we have the vaccine in place, the COVID gone, we can see that the drop volumes in e-commerce are not going to drop in general because the fear will remain for the next 1.5 to 2 years. But e-commerce is here to stay. Is what my take is. What do you say, Shailen?
Yeah, so I'm trying to understand the dip in May. Ideally, it should have plateaued and not gone up, but in June I see a very good up again.
Yeah,
I was just wondering what could be the reason for this dip in May, because if the lockdown was continuing, then the good sales should continue.
Yeah, so that's kind of.
And this order is for which region? This data is for which region?
This is basically GCC and KSA. KSA specific. If you see, it's the weekly online orders trend of KSA. So it is Saudi. So Saudi has the maximum and the biggest retailers, and we've got the biggest 3PLs there. So that's when I have been able to pull the data out.
So I was reading in one of the articles, and I think one of the government websites in KSA, where they were mentioning that the e-commerce deliveries have gone up by almost 78% month on month, year on year, and it's a tremendous growth that is happening.
Yes. And it's kind of
So
showing
are
in the.
the last mile delivery operators able to keep pace with the volume of deliveries?
Okay, let me give you an example of one of the biggest retailers that we have as a client. Basically, what's happening is because of such a peak that's happening, they have not been able to increase their number of fleet. You know, they are stuck to that 250, 300 fleet people who are doing the courier jobs. Whereas what they're doing is they have gone into the courier outsourcing. They outsource their orders to a lot of courier partners across the GCC, whether you talk about Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, you talk about Saudi. So they're tying up with as many courier partners as possible. And over there also they're facing difficulty because there is a multi-parcel thing that comes up there, right? You have small parcels, you have medium parcels, you've got furniture deliveries. So who's going to do furniture delivery? Naturally, a small partner cannot do a furniture delivery. So it's kind of, they are running through a tough time of how to manage their own fleet and 3PLs. But yes, kind of now things are getting settled down because they've understood the process. They've understood FARI, how FARI is able to help them. And the good thing is FARI also does a goodwill of merging uh, 3PLs to all these big retailers, consumers, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Hmm.
Any other questions, Jim?
And how is KSA market different from UAE? I mean, is it similar or totally different? Because KSA is a huge country.
Yeah, so KSA
Any
volumes are
key
huge.
differences between that market and this market?
KSA, huge difference in terms of volume. Volume is huge in KSA. You talk about if you're doing 2000 in UAE, you'll be doing easily 6,000 in KSA, 6 to 7,000. It's almost 3, 4 times more per day. So we have seen the trend happening across all our retailers or our 3PLs. So that trend is continuing. And so KSA, generally being such a big country, it is quite well known. The deliveries happen even to the remote areas, the 3PLs that we have signed up with. So the volumes have increased significantly in KSA. So this.
And which are the large players in KSA? I mean, apart from Noon Souk and now Amazon and
So there is a company called Salasa. There are some unknown companies, but they're doing extremely well. There's a company called Salasa. There's a company called SLS. We have also tied up with all these names that you're talking about. There's another company called Samsa. I don't know whether you've heard of it. Samsa is one of the
no,
biggest.
you are talking of last mile delivery operators. I am asking which are the main e-commerce players apart from Noon and Souk.
Okay, there is one called Jarir Bookstore. Have you heard of them?
Yes, I believe they're very large
Huge, huge there. They're
bookstore.
doing very
Yeah.
well. We've got Nadi Pharmacy. They're also doing extremely well. They've got a very good platform, and there are many more. There are many more added to this. So even Salasa, which I was speaking about, they also have their e-commerce. So I mean that can also be counted amongst this.
Okay.
So apart from 3PLs, these are the people that I'm talking about. There are many more, which I will, of course, send you the list, which I have.
Okay. Great.
So let me jump to the next slide. So next slide is again talking about the same thing, wherein how it's been a strategic shift for retailers across the various months that we spoke about, especially during March, how it started and went on. The increase has been over 200%. The demand has been coming through complete online channels. Loads of home deliveries because people are staying at home. There's no other option they have. B2C has seen you talk about the brick and mortar has seen a complete shutdown during those months. Now things have started when they have opened up, but again, people are not going as we're expecting them to go. So orders are almost in the same. See, June, July, we see the orders are picking up back to 6, 7,000 instead of 10,000, and not even it's gone up from 3,000. So that's what's happening. Then this is
What was the green line in the previous slide?
so basically these are various things. One may be for the thing, the top line you see is for pharma, the middle one you see is for retail, and this is also for the 3PLs, the postal companies that we are talking about.
What about grocery? Are there grocery players also here?
No, grocery players have not put in there. It's majorly 3PLs, majorly postal, and majorly retailers. And retailers, I consider pharma also retailers. Grocery also, we have some customers, and their peak has almost been like these pharmacy companies, if you see that.
Yeah, because grocery has emerged as very strong player in the e-commerce market.
Yeah, the best part, Shailen, is all the retailers are getting into grocery right now, knowing the demand in the marketplace that's there. They have kind of they've been asking me in terms of getting me a solution on hyperlocal for the grocery in terms of slot-based delivery. How do you do on-demand delivery in grocery? So everything has taken a new shape for grocery. So retailers have jumped into grocery also right now. I know some retailers which are kind of
Yeah,
getting
even I think Noon has started a
yeah. So Noon is
grocery
starting.
delivery.
Noon has started a unique case wherein they're also doing some work for Dubai police, wherein theft management is being managed by FRI. So it's very, very unique cases that's coming up to us. We have got healthcare companies coming to us in terms of, you know that during an operation, what happens is when a person is being operated, we have got some urgent need of equipment. So we do this for Johnson and Johnson, wherein the equipments are leased out. So FRI does the delivery of the equipments and then brings it back. So we have all these movements that's captured on FRI. And J&J has become a global customer for us in these scenarios. And we've got some serious healthcare companies talking to us globally right now. So this is what
And
this
what
slide.
are you doing with Dubai police? Can you explain a little bit if it is not confidential?
It is kind of confidential. I'm sorry for that, Shalin. I'll talk to you on that separately. If that's okay.
Okay. So they also need route optimization and all that.
Yeah, they have. There's a separate use case altogether. I mean, it's a very unique use case, and what the hint I can give you is basically it's related to thefts. So how do you do theft management? So I will explain that use case when I meet you separately.
Okay,
It's
fair enough.
pretty, pretty interesting. So this we are
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, yeah. So again, this slide basically talks about the pharmacies and groceries and how things have shaped up. So again, the jump that we talk about, this is only specific to pharmacies because pharmacy deliveries have jumped significantly high. And today we're talking about 25,000 deliveries per day. That's what's happening. So this is only April, but May, June onwards, we've been doing 20 to 25,000 deliveries per day. So it's pretty interesting. And now this, I think all of us can talk on this, how we're all consumers. We believe that our habits have changed. The moment we step out of the house, we wear a mask and gloves and go. The moment we have a delivery that's coming in, it's become a contactless delivery. And we're very careful when we're taking a packet from anybody. So the whole changing consumer behavior has hit the market big time. And even for us, in terms of technology, we have developed a platform which is totally contactless. It's just a tap which the driver can just deliver the product and go. We are also getting into pick and drop when the driver just comes and drops it to your house and just goes off. He just drops it to a place where you indicate to him. We have also got Pudo centers. We've got locker systems coming up wherein, again, that's again consumer habits changing there, wherein the customer does not want to take the delivery, so he tells just drop it to the retail shop. So that's also coming into place right now. So a lot of innovative things coming into consumer habits. Do you all have any thoughts on this?
I think the peak is here to stay. The grocery deliveries and the pharma deliveries will not go down.
It doesn't look like.
So unless the courier companies, add capacity, it will be a struggle for them.
Yeah, and
So I don't know what's happening at their front.
so that's when I speak about this gig economy, right? I mean, when it comes to my next slides, the gig economy is picking up big time, where we are talking about a lot of freelancers, a lot of uh, drivers who are kind of doing a part-time job, and they're basically coming on just doing the job for that incentive and money that they make for a short period of time, which is on the higher side compared to the normal 9 to 5 job. And that's kind of catching up big time right now. We, in our language, for the big names, we call it crowdsourcing, freelancing. But yes, it's the economy is getting to be more gig economy is catching up big time. So let's talk on that. So we also have, in terms of consumers, nowadays, if you see sales, people are sitting at home and selling to outside market. And this is kind of caught up in terms of a very negative thing, because if you're not able to meet a customer, you're not able to sell. And we have had a lot of sales guys coming and complaining, oh, what to do? I mean, we don't have an option. So that is getting to be on the negative. Do you feel the same, Shailene? I mean, I know you've been working for top corporates in the world, and they should have come back to you.
Yeah, but this gig economy is here to stay. You have no choice but to
But to agree to,
adapt and adopt. So you have to move on with the new style of working. I mean, Twitter, Facebook, everybody is telling employees that for the next 1 year, no need to come to office.
yeah.
So there will be reduced travel, more work from home, and through tools like Zoom and meetings, they will be in the
But do you
forefront.
believe sales can happen like that?
Sales will happen, and in fact, I was speaking to a friend in a very large, in fact, one of the largest software company, and he
Yeah.
said that travel and is one of our largest largest overheads in terms of IT sales. And he said now we are doing sales through Zoom meetings, and the customer is happy, my travel spend is reduced, and sales are still happening because customers realize that yes, you cannot call the sales guy to KSA from UAE at the drop of your hat. So he is adjusting. He doesn't want a face-to-face meeting because he may also not be going to office. And for the company, I mean, it's beneficial that you are able to do presentations like this online, and whatever question, answer, explanation is there, you can give software demos online.
Yeah.
So I think this is here to stay.
Yeah, people have started accommodating and understanding, but if you generally see, if you talk about an individual perspective, me myself being a sales head, I kind of see that being that difference coming into place, wherein a face-to-face would have been more in terms of beneficial, but in terms of how many times can you call a customer on Zoom? I mean, I don't believe the customer, even he will get irritated unless you're very, very close to him. So relationship building is, of course, getting on a flop side. But yes, overall, I understand it's here to stay. People are adjusting, but I'm sure there will be a drop in the number of dollars very soon. So this is what my take is, unless apart from
But
Shailen.
Harish, in terms of spending, whatever is essential is only happening. Whatever is desirable is already taken a backseat.
I
So
know
in
you're
any
talking.
case, the dollar spend in IT, the dollar spend on HR, manpower, learning development, marketing spend, market research, anything which can be cut is being cut. So I
Yes,
think it's more because of these reasons that companies are tightening their belt, that you're feeling the pinch of lesser dollar spend. But I think in terms of overall uh, market, this is the reality. I mean, you can't help it. It
I
is
know
here
that.
to stay. You have to live with it, and how to move on and make the best of it.
Right. So I've got somebody senior from Al Ghanim also. George, you want to comment on this? Possibly your experience can add a lot of value.
Hi, Harish. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I mean, we are based in Kuwait, and uh, we have this electronics, furniture, and all that. We have gone through a very tough phase with respect to deliveries, and I mean, as you clearly mentioned in your presentation, uh, the issues that we faced was not getting the fleets and getting the right
Yeah.
technicians or installers to do the work, and this has hampered our customer experience a lot. Our SLAs and delivery timings used to be 3 days, 4 days, but it got extended to 7 to 8, and it wasn't good at all. But keeping in mind the need, essential items, electronics, they have picked up a lot. So that's a good sign. But having a technology where we will be able to provide one of the best customer experiences, this is something that we are looking forward to have, and where we give the opportunity for the customers to track and deliver in time, which is a very good thing at this point of time. Even in COVID, the expectation is it hasn't gone down at all. It has just increased. Instead of walking to a showroom or to get a stuff, they're expecting it to be delivered within 2 hours, within 4 hours, even if it is an iPhone. So the expectation has skyrocketed for us, and that has pushed us to the limit. So it's a good learning curve, and yes, last mile is very, very vital in this aspect. So we have
Great.
understood the importance.
That's a very valuable input from George. I mean, thanks. I mean, it comes directly from the horse's mouth. He's heading the IT for one of the biggest retailers and electronics in Kuwait. So thanks for that, George. So I basically,
Yeah, good to hear that, George. So, a lot of innovations have happened. Now Kareem and Uber are doing last mile delivery in many countries. I know in UAE, I know in Egypt, Kareem is doing. So, a lot of innovations have happened, and uh, more innovations should happen and would happen. And a lot of shifts are happening. One of our friends who works in a very large furniture organization, he says that people are buying sofas and dining tables and all these things online, which never used to happen online. And the online in furniture, surprisingly, is doing very well.
yeah, just to add to Shailen, there's one of the retailers who I was speaking to 2 days back. They're coming up with something called virtual reality. So I know that he says that that's just a way to buy things, but that's kind of that's getting into the hype of things right now. So virtual reality technology is here to catch up, and even when you're wearing your shoes, you can actually wear your shoes virtually and feel it, and accordingly buy the shoes. So it's very beautiful technologies coming into place.
I think
So
virtual reality is already here in furniture. I think IKEA offers it on your app. So once you send a picture, you have to upload a few pictures of say your living room where you want a sofa set. So once you select on the sofa set, it will show you, how it looks on your living room.
yeah,
So I think these things are there. Apparel already took a lead in terms of showing
correct.
how
Yeah,
a dress
clothing
would
line,
look at
everything.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Great.
these things are happening.
So if you see basically, I don't know whether all of you are facing the same challenges which I am seeing in the market. There are different kinds of parcels that's coming into place right now. There's small pouches to very, very big parcels, furniture deliveries, almaras. So we have a lot of multi-parcel deliveries. There's the existing delivery partners, the retailers are having are not that great. I mean, they are facing a serious issue in terms of who should we outsource the order to. I have faced this seriously in KSA. So when it comes to aggregation, so Farai is very strong on courier aggregation. So we have a lot of courier partners into our network. So what Farai does is we have a connector program sitting on top of the Farai platform, which integrates into all the courier partners across the region. And the allocation of couriers happens based on demography, based on various algorithms and logics. You can talk about demography, capacity, you can talk about uh, the same day delivery, next day delivery, pricing. So various parameters, even parameter one, if suppose Samsa is not able to do it, automatically routes to parameter two, who can be a DHL, or Aramex can be parameter three. So that kind of is caught up. And when I am trying to outsource the goods to various 3PLs, there are only a few players who are able to deliver on time, whereas others, either they don't take the order or just moves to the next parameter. So that's one thing which I am basically seeing as a challenge. And each and every delivery partner has a different strength. So we are not able to go with the strengths right now because of the COVID situation. But yes, that's fallen in place right now. But the last 6 months was very tough. So do you also see this happening as a challenge? This would be basically to George, Shailen, or if anybody is able to answer this question, it'll be great. The addition of challenges in terms of the whole market right now.
Yeah, it's a big issue. It's a big issue, and the world will move to the guys who can deliver the fastest.
Yes.
So maybe a last mile delivery software will help people in doing a better routing and better load optimization and faster deliveries.
Yeah.
Because we used to see that people will order iPhones cash on delivery from two people, and whoever delivers first, they will keep that iPhone, and the other iPhone which comes later will get returned.
Sometimes the customers do get lucky.
No, it's a very common practice. You'll be surprised, but it's a very common practice. And I think the grocery and food delivery did very well during the
Yes.
pandemic, during the lockdown, and they were maintaining their delivery hours against, some of the very large retailers who were offering 7-day delivery for grocery. There was this Talabat which was offering 1 hour, 40 minutes delivery for your normal bread, milk, and whatever groceries you want.
Excellent. So the requirements have just peaked up now. Seeing the challenges, the requirements have kind of peaked up. How do you do route optimization, or how do you provide the right parcel to the right destination with the right dimensions? So does the own fleet help, or do you want to outsource it to a 3PL? So that's when we come into picture. We do the complete end-to-end management of the first mile, mid-mile, last mile. That's, I don't want to talk about this too much because I've spoken about it. Majorly, turnaround times, on time in full deliveries have become become the most important challenges nowadays. So that kind of percentage is increasing. OTIF percentage is increasing. People are putting penalties into 3PLs who are not able to deliver as per the OTIF agreements. So things are being observed with deep lenses, and things have gone to the next level when it comes to any retailer or any customer who are looking at 3PLs as their vendors.
What are the key KPIs that one can measure in last mile delivery?
So there are many KPIs. I mean, you have this complete fleet that is a driver coming in, delivering on time. See, for example, one of the pizzas we are doing for one of the global pizza companies, wherein there's a standing example of if a driver is able to deliver within the time that is being committed by the pizza company. So assume that he does an 8 minutes before delivery instead of say 20-25 minutes. So he gets a scoring for that. So we have built a beautiful scoring mechanism, scoring KPI for the drivers, wherein any delivery that happens before 25 minutes, or if you're doing say 8 to 10 minutes before, you get a scoring, and that scoring is accumulated over a month and given as an incentive to the driver. And we have got this manifest that comes out, and the manifest is captured on Farai. We've got the run sheet reports. We've got the reconciliation that happens as a KPI. So the many, and we have also got a beautiful tool which measures different kinds of KPIs pertaining to all the miles that I spoke about. So it is a vast topic to talk about in terms of KPIs. But yes, these are the basic things. All the reports are available. How many drivers are doing, which driver has come, and what has he delivered. All the delivery reports are got the same day in the evening. So there are many things that we do. So there's some of the KPIs, Shailin.
Yeah, good to hear this. And I think for the audience, if you can explain the OTIF and any other acronym which you've used.
So turnaround time is basically how long does a driver take to deliver a parcel? That's basically as per FARI. In terms of what is on time in full, that is if you have a, see, like Walmart, if they have a 3PL vendor who has to deliver groceries to them, so they have a particular cutoff date and time. If they don't come at that particular time, they cut off 5 to 7% of their overall revenues or invoicing that they have. So OTIF has come into place with all the big retailers across the globe, including the retailers in GCC. Though at this moment during COVID situation, people are not considering this too much, but before March and after COVID, this is going to come. This is here to stay long. So that's what OTIF is all about. And the delivery person productivity, I've already spoken to. Customer satisfaction, delivering smiles across all the miles, going to the end, giving the customer that smile and delivering the product contactless. It is all, the Farai as a product has matured, and including the experience of when it comes to the goods moving from a warehouse to store to say a customer, and the customer, the goods being delivered on time and it going to the customer on time, the customer finding it. Just for an example, if a pizza, if you deliver it early, naturally all of us will be hungry. We would love to have it early. So it covers the end-to-end smile process. It's finally the happy customer and the happy mile that we talk about. So these are some of
And
the
Any advancements in the contactless delivery?
So the same thing that's happening, people delivering the boxes to the doors and just walking off. We have got, for big customers, we have got these lockers and Pudo centers, pick up and drop points. There are
So
some,
dropping boxes and walking off will not have POD issues. How do you get
no,
proof of
the
delivery?
POD is not coming to picture right now because it is only for if the customer has already paid for the order. So we just drop it and go. If you're talking about cash delivery, then we have the POD. So, so the driver comes in, he delivers the product, takes the cash and goes. If it is a credit card or if you swipe the
Because we've had cases of where, you've gone and delivered to the reception and the guy later on says, I never got the delivery, show my signature. And, he asked the bank to reverse the payment.
yeah, that's one of cases. But over the last 3-4 months, we have not seen much cases happening. When I speak to all my customers that I speak that we have, um, we have not seen much cases happening. I think George can do a. George, do you want to say something here? I thought you were saying.
yeah, when it comes to contactless, I'm sure we would. There's a need for this OTP that can be sent across to the customers, and
Yes.
I believe that can be taken into consideration for the POD. So if they are able to provide a OTP number, say for example, if RI sends out an OTP with a 4-digit number to the customer, and
Yes.
only that particular customer can provide, instead of tapping or writing on the tablet or on the phone, they can just provide the number and we can take it as a digitally signed a POD.
So
That's one way of looking at it as a contactless approach
great
of
point.
getting that.
Great point, George. Basically, we are already doing that, and I think we have suggested that to you also. And OTP is one way, but again, over there, what you'll be doing is you'll be meeting a customer. So during these 3 months, we had that as a situation wherein the customer is called from the basement or wherever the driver is parking the vehicle. He's told that the parcel is kept outside and he just moves, and it is only for card payments kind of thing. But yes, OTP is a great point. We do that, and it's kind of taken off big time. Thanks for that
Right,
point.
and yeah, just to add to that, what we have from the business point, we have a lot of litigation concerns regarding this. So see, in Kuwait, we have a lot of servants or landlords, and we have people who I mean, family members takes the product and doesn't inform the person who actually ordered. So there are a lot of cases where we get calls coming in. So what we tend to do is we take a photograph of the vehicle in front of the building. We take a photograph of the building number. We take some measures in terms of this. I'm sure FARI has the functionality of taking photographs of who and at what point of time. So each touch point in the flow, you are getting a feed from the driver, from the app, from all the GPS, everything, right? So we can build up a lot of analytics. We can build up the in terms of litigation how to mitigate those kind of concerns with photographs and everything. So that is
Okay.
one good aspect of looking at it.
Great. So just to add to your EPOD stuff, so we as FARI, we basically are in GCC, I would say we are integrated into various Emirates ID. For example, in Dubai, we have got Emirates ID. So we integrate into the EID systems. So when when the driver goes to a customer, he basically gives his ID, he takes a photo of his ID, he takes a photo of the parcel, whatever he's delivering, he takes the signature of the customer. And all these are recorded back into the database. And this database is extremely useful in terms of any customer having that. And this has led to a supreme success of FARI across the globe when it comes to the complete process of EPOD, which is captured and delivered to the customer. So great point again. Thanks. Shailen, anything on this?
But Emirates ID would be required for what? Credit cards and all, no? Not for normal delivery.
No, yeah, credit cards is fine, but just to show the proof that I'm the customer. So we just capture it just to see, like, for example, if you're having Emirates Post as a client, and Emirates Post is integrated into all these IDs, or Oman Post, they have integrated into Emirates ID. If you're talking about tomorrow, if we have a customer like Saudi Post, they have their Ikama and they have their IDs. So this integration into ID has become a mandate. We have to live with it. So the customer has to show the ID when we are delivering the product. So it has kind of become a mandate, Shailen.
Okay, great. I think let us open for question and answers. If anybody in the audience has any questions, they can ask. Otherwise, then we can call it a day.
There are a few more things I would love to speak about, but again, I mean, it depends on the timing of people. I don't want to.
Yeah, if there's anything left, you can finish it.
I already spoke about the gig economy. Economy is basically wherein we are talking about crowdsourcing, freelancers. People are having instead of having a 9 to 5 job, people come out of their comfort zone and just go into what they want to do. It's like short-term, temporary, independent contractors who come do the deliveries and get the payments for that on time. So this has come up.
Harish sir, you can share share your details in the website also. We can provide it in the website also. Because we can have an article. So it will be good presentation for the public.
Great, I'll do that.
Okay, so that will be good also. Anyhow, this will be available as a session in the YouTube also for our dedicated members. Besides this, if we put as an article also, it will be very informative for the public.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's good. That's good.
So this I spoke about, Samir, Shailen, George, everyone. So efficient career management, I spoke to you about the courier aggregation. This is kind of catching up big time. There are a lot of small 3PLs, big 3PLs, all catching up to get business in this market. The business is there, they're not able to deliver on time. So that's become a crucial thing. So FARA is helping mitigate all this stuff in terms of career management. There's something interesting what we're doing. How do you keep the customers happy? Assume that you're delivering to a customer and the customer has a dog at the gate. How does he personalize the message and send it to the driver? So we have got to do that kind of a level. We are scheduling the delivery. We are personalizing the messages. We are going into customer communication big time. We have come up with superior, like George spoke earlier, we have got all the driving, we are capturing everything in this particular video if you see that. So it makes a big difference to the customer. And we also have got something called WhatsApp Zulu, which talks to the customer. For example, here, hi Ben, I'm Zulu. When do you want to do a delivery? He says tomorrow, then can you share the delivery? So driver does not waste his time. He just gets the location and it just moves. So that's instant gratification for the customer, as well as.
So this WhatsApp scheduling can be done in advance also, no?
Yes, that's what we are talking about, advance, so that driver just gets his location and moves.
Okay, that's great.
And these are some of the new things like quick customizations, contactless, driver car outsourcing, everything is coming into play right now, and it has caught up in the market big time. So we as customers, if you talk about a complete end-to-end delivery from sorting to picking to packing to scheduling of deliveries, we are assigning it to either the fleets or the 3PLs. And if you don't have an end-to-end automated system, it becomes extremely difficult and it hampers the operations. And it, of course, obstructs the long-term growth of anybody. So this is just a suggestion. It's totally on how do you use technology. Thank you, guys. I think this was from my side. If there's any questions and answers that you'd like to ask me, more than happy. We have got the whole senior management like Thailand, George, all sitting. We can all have an interactive session right now.
This is very informative, Harish. It's very good. It's a good forum to speak and discuss about this. And I really appreciate you taking point by point how we can do it better. And I'm sure each business have their own use cases. And the best part is most of them is being covered and can be covered in FARI. That's the good part of it. And one aspect which I've seen in FARI, which it stands out with other vendors, is it's a learning that you get from one client is being passed to everyone. So it's a pool of information, pool of ideas that's coming in from multiple sources and making a robust solution. So yeah, this is very good. It's very good at the moment. Yes.
I appreciate that.
Thanks.
George.
Thanks. Sir.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
Hi, I want to ask you one question.
Hi, Sandeep.
Hi. I need to understand, as you mentioned, the initial phase about the three graphs you mentioned, retail, pharmacy, and the 3PL. So which are the companies who have implemented on the 3PL part? And I need to understand what is the scalability? How can we go ahead in that?
Okay, in terms of companies, 3PL, you can take examples of Emirates Post, Oman Post, DHL, UPS, Saudi. So we have those kind of customers that have implemented 3PL. They have taken the first mile and the last mile. They have taken pickup and drop, and they have taken the last mile also. So we have everything pertaining to route optimization, to contactless deliveries, to driver apps, and driver apps being on mobile and web. Android and iOS. And we also have a complete web dashboard for the operations warehouse managers who dispatch the orders to the drivers. So all these are taken care. In terms of retailers, we can talk about customers like Landmark Group, Alshaya, Altair, the huge names here, Shaloob. So all the big names are using Farai. And so things have taken shape in a wonderful level in terms of first mile, middle mile, last mile, and so that's what's happening with 3PLs, retailers, and pharmacies. Pharmacies also, Sandeep, we have Aster Pharmacy, we have Nadi Pharmacy, the big names wherein the volumes are huge. They're using their own fleet to deliver, and things have taken shape in terms of. So when it comes to pharmacies, we have got into hyperlocal, we've got into on demand. So we've got B2B, B2B2C. So a lot of new concepts. Now, new concept is coming called C2C, which is retailer to the customer. They call it C2C, which I was reading about it today. So Sandeep, this is what is happening in the market pertaining to all the.
So is it a part? I mean, it's more into an integration with the existing WMS, or we need to. I mean, it's a separate software only for the delivery management system.
No. So what happens is Farai pulls the order. Either you can do a Excel upload, which generally big customers don't do. So we integrate into their Oracle WMS or an IBM Sterling, or you're talking about SAP Hybris, the e-commerce, or a Magento platform. And we get the orders on the Farai system. And when the orders come into the Farai system, the operations of the warehouse manager is able to dispatch the orders to all the drivers. And we are coming up with a new concept wherein we are also Uberizing the drivers who have gone to deliveries and who are coming back on the way. So all these new concepts are coming. So yes, we have API integrations into various softwares, global softwares in the world.
So it operates like an order management also, apart from delivery management.
Yeah, it operates, but we don't get into order management. We basically, once we get the order, once the delivery happens, what happens is the order comes into once, say, the driver has finished the delivery, he comes back. So once he signs off on the dashboard, the delivery order goes back into the Farai system. It again reads back into the OMS. So it is a two-way integration that we do, Sandeep.
Got it. Thank you, Harish.
Anytime. Ishwar, you have a question?
Hi, good evening, Harish. This is Ishwar this side. I would like to understand from the perspective of demand planning and forecasting. How do you do your demand planning and forecasting with the current scenario, and in normal situations, like could you just comprehend, and like what kind of tools do you actually use in your demand planning?
So in terms of demand planning and forecasting, we basically, see, Farai does not do that. I mean, basically it is done on the OMS or the warehouse management system in terms of demand planning and forecasting. And Farai gets the orders and delivers it. In terms of final mile, wherein all the orders are delivered, that's when we come up with this forecasting of, say, predictive analytics, saying that in the last 6 months, this has been the case wherein so many drivers have delivered so many parcels in this particular area, and this is where the heat map is. So we need to focus on that particular place. So Ishwar, when it comes to forecasting, that's what we do. But when it comes to demand planning, it's the initial mile, and it is basically done on the warehouse management system or the OMS system. So we don't get into that, Ishwar. I hope I was able to answer your question. But yes, in terms of getting more information for you, I can get it for you in terms of if you are looking at something specific to this.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ishwar.
Hi, regarding this, this is Richard Thomas. regarding this point which you had raised now, I mean, FARI will have access to the data on the last mile delivery. I would
Yes.
imagine the retailers will themselves have access to the same information. Is there a
Yes.
different set of analysis, something that gives FARI the edge over the, whatever the original retailer can do? I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
Sorry, you finish your question, Richard. Sorry.
So my question is, I mean, this is a trend which I've been seeing generally in UAE as well, because aggregators like uh, Uber Eats and Zomato, they all have data. So, I mean, these they become valuable when they can do something different with that data than the
Right.
original, generators of that data.
Exactly.
So I hope I've made myself clear on that.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you in terms of what we do in terms of data. Uh, Assume that I am signed up with a Landmark, and Landmark has so much of data that's coming in. They are doing about 2.5 million transactions a year. So all the data sits on the AWS. So what we do is we basically have tied up with a third party called Sisense, and plus we are tying up with all the big names like Tableau, SAP BO, MicroStrategy, etc. And customers already have these platforms with them. I don't know why, but I've seen customers, they have kind of tried integrating FARI. So we also have this every 3 months we have this facility of dumping the data into their database or wherever they want, their OMS systems, and they also can get the data out, they can get the analytics out. But when it comes to FARI, it is specific to deliveries. So they have started using the FARI BI platform is only specific to logistics, specific to whatever deliveries is happening, and they are able to predict the data much easier compared to the data they already have from various sources into their Power BIs or SAP BO. So that's the difference I see, Richard. Otherwise, the data that sits with us is very safe. It is monitored by ISO 27000 security standards. We have got PCI DSS. So everything is, we have all the certificates in place to ensure the data is safe and the customer does not suffer. And in terms of the data warehouse, everything is on AWS. And if you want us to integrate into your Power BI or SAP BO, we can do that also. But customers have tried that and they've come back to the FARI platform. I hope it answered your question, Richard.
Yes, thank you.
Krishnamurthy sir, you have any question?
No, sir.
आप लोग कोई last mile delivery use कर रहे हैं software in Pan Emirates?
In fact, we were in discussion with FARI also. Harish knows that. And but we are using Optimizer for routing, scheduling. It happens just. So currently the work is on, but that's required based on the, like you said, e-commerce, the delivery demand or the demand from the customer is very, very strict. So you need to have planning softwares for your deliveries so that you can reach your customer fast.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's very important.
But you have a lot of outsourced vendors also, no? Outsourced wale ko, how do you manage their planning and scheduling?
It is it's not very difficult. I mean to say, basically
Or they are used for something.
No. As I think Harish has already mentioned, it's a matter of your orders getting pushed into the system, and so basically you define those resource also as a part of your resource when you do the planning. You define it in the master as a part of your resource. So that because a resource is what? A resource is basically a truck and a driver.
Yeah.
Or a bike and a driver, or only a biker. So that's your resource. So you add it as your resource in your master, and then you start planning your orders and pushing your orders as per the route and as per the requirement and as per your capacity. So
correct. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Krishnan.
short notice, and probably we'll have a larger audience on one of the weekends where we are able to
There'll be
advertise well,
yeah.
because it
No,
needs
not only that one, Shailen sir, because of a very short time, and that too short time is striking on a 1 day span of, max is 1 day, 24 and 32 hours, I think so. We've been posted day before yesterday afternoon. So that is also one of the reason. And of course, mid of the week, that is also one reason. So, but we plan it. We plan for the scheduling for the Saturday, and we will come up with a good audience also. Usually, this is like one of the shot we have fallen with the members, because most of our members also not being present. Everyone having issues with, like, they are driving back to the home from offices. They might have struck out in this. Lot of people are messaging us in the back in our group, like they are struck there like the. And I want you to give us these articles to publish in our website, so it will be one way or the other, it will get the knowledge people to the people, as well as they will get to know about you also. And
Samir, what I can do is, if you want, I mean, I'm available anytime. I mean, whenever the days we are free, we can have a detailed session with a lot of.
This Saturday is already fixed, because you can see that in our website we've been scrolling since last week. On the 3D. Okay, and you have you seen our website?
See, basically, I didn't have the time. I had a lot.
Now I will. Now in the chart, I am going to send you the website. Just have a look at that one.
More than glad.
So just look the chat. Chat message. You will find the link. Just copy that and you can post it on your system. Then you can see that one.
Great.
Your flyer is there already. I mean, your picture is there already as speaker.
No, more than a picture, it's basically knowledge that's happening in the market. That's what's more important right now, because a lot of people have gone into a circle that because of COVID, the market is falling, things are not happening. So that clarity had to come in. So that is the reason.
Exactly. That's what we are also trying to, give such information to the public, that the market is, again, it's coming back. Always there is a scope, sir, because projects are opening. I mean, what I can say is the projects are like aggressively they are taking up back again, because there is a pressure, time bound, killing of time, which is like 3 months, 90 days. People which they cannot adjust in their time scope of project line. They cannot delete these 90 days, and they cannot make it out the things which is not possible, which is not happened in 90 days. So over that, aggressive of work, aggressive of investment is also going on. People are very fastly moving towards the developments. Of course, there is only a rumor, like jobs are not there, all these things. That's okay. Every time it happens, it's very common. Okay, but once work started, it will come back.
One thing, but people have also started resuming a lot of wrong things. I mean, and that is what we need to highlight to the whole world, saying that, come on, get back to your work. I mean, there are a lot of things happening.
No, but that's what, sir. We have our own, group of UAE jobs, where dedicated jobs are providing for them. That is also one message for them. Over thousands of people are there. People are knowing about that we are giving a job provision there. People knowing that, see, if there is no development, if something is stopped, how the postings are happening? This is also one question, right? So one way or the other, people are realizing, but what to do, sir? Happens or happen earlier is happened. So people are like, chaos. They don't know where this is going on. This is what. That's it. So hope.
Chalo, theek hai. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Let's call it a day. And
thank you.
We'll have a larger group and a larger session sometime.
Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
And share me your articles.
Thanks, Harish.
Just send me in the WhatsApp also. I can do it.
Great. Thanks a lot, everyone. You have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Just send me the link.